Good morning. Thanks for connecting with us this morning.
Practice and trust, visualize all your desires. Focus on the better days. Be willing to let go and receive. Just breathe. Nothing will
Morning,
hold you
Drika.
down. Just
Good
repeat
morning,
after
Axel.
me.
I pray that all you guys have had a great weekend. Great week.
I am power, I am
It's the
love.
last day of the year.
I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless. I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose. I am passion, I am present, I'm determined. I am strong, I am brave, I am enough. Know that it won't be easy, still I won't give up.
You know how we do it. We're going to give a few more people time to log in. But I pray that you guys have had a great week. A very Merry Christmas and all that stuff like that. You know what it is.
You're more than capable. Just believe it's yours and it'll be. Have faith and you'll see. There's a power deep inside you. All you gotta do is reach inside you.
Bishop,
Don't be
blessings to you, sir.
afraid.
Thanks for connecting this morning.
Face anything, just repeat after me. I am power, I am love, I am light. I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless.
Good morning, Miss Anita. Thank you for stopping by to see us.
I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose. I am passion, I am present, I'm determined. I am strong, I am brave, I am enough. Know that it won't be easy, still I won't give up. Shifting your ways, be confident within yourself. Practice and trust, visualize all your desires. Focus on the better days. Be willing to let go and receive.
Morning, Tay. Thank you so much.
Nothing will hold you down. Just repeat after me. I am power, I am love, I am light. I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless. I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose.
We're going to give it a couple more minutes
I am passion, I am present,
and
I'm
we're going to
determined.
dive in.
I am strong, I am brave, I am enough. Know that it won't be easy, still I won't give up.
I'm trying to get at this coffee because it's hidden this morning.
Give it all you got.
I'm really trying. I'm really trying.
More than capable. Just believe it's yours and it'll be. Have faith and you'll see. There's a power deep inside you. All you gotta do is reach inside you. Don't be afraid. You could face anything. Just repeat after me. I am power, I am love, I am light. I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless. I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose. I am passion, I am present, I'm determined. I in your ways. Be confident within yourself. Practice and trust. Visualize all your desires. Focus on the better days. Be willing to let go and receive. Just breathe. Nothing will hold you down. Just repeat after me.
All right, you guys, we'll give about another minute and we're going to get ready to jump in here. Those of you who are just connecting, thank you so much for connecting this morning. G. Denise, what's happening? Thanks for connecting.
I am power, I am love, I am light. I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless.
Fam, what's happening?
I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose. I am passion, I am present, I'm determined.
Okay, I got a question. I got a question before we get started. When you guys are late connecting to the live on Sundays, do y'all be running through the house like y'all run through the house when you be late for church? I don't know why that's so funny to me. Okay.
Put your mind to it. Give it all you got.
Yes, sir. 2024 is up. 2024 got next.
Just believe it's yours and it'll be. Have faith and you'll see. There's a power deep inside you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you be running for your phone? Talking, oh my God.
Don't be afraid.
Wow.
Face anything. Just repeat after me. I am power, I am love, I am light.
Thank you so much, Drika.
I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it.
God morning to you too, Lucy. I love you.
I am fearless. I am humble. I am grateful. I am purpose. I am
Yes, sir. Bishop, you understand the assignment.
I am strong. I am brave. I am enough. Know that it won't be easy. Still, I won't give up.
Okay, I got one more thing to say and we're going to get started. So what if, wait, let me turn this down. So what if when we stand before God, I got to stop this morning. I got to say this though. What if when we stand before God, you have to give an account to every time you were late for church? And then he say, what about when you was online? And we have to give an account for why we was late logging on. Man, I don't know why that's funny to me this morning. It has nothing to do with anything. Thank you so much, Gwen. Thank you so much. That has nothing to do with nothing that I'm talking about today. All right, so I'm about to get ready to hop in the spirit real quick. Excuse me while I change lanes. Yeah, that was just a funny thought. I don't even know where that came from. Gwen said she gonna tell the Lord her Wi-Fi messed up. Oh no, Larry said he gonna tell the Lord. He was waiting for me to finish my coffee. Boy, y'all wildin'. Y'all wildin'. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Man, okay, so last day of 2023. We are standing in it, and 2024 is about to get this work. How many of y'all ready to give 2024 this work? Do you have work for 2024? I hope you do. If not, we're going to get you ready. As you guys have requested a couple of years ago, good morning, Pastor Ransom. Good morning, Chris. I love you. As you guys requested a couple years ago that we do our forecast for 2024 or whatever the coming year is. We've been doing on New Year's Day. We will do New Year's Day on tomorrow. And I'll probably do it about 11:30, 12ish to give you guys time to wake up because I know some of you guys are going to be out partying with the Holy Spirit tonight. So we'll be doing that tomorrow afternoon. I'll be giving you a forecast of what it is that I foresee for the upcoming year. Not a broad forecast, and I may do it in our portal. I don't think I'm going to be here. In fact, I know I won't be here. We'll be in the portal on Zoom tomorrow afternoon, mid-morning to afternoon, somewhere around there. So you guys make sure that you look out for that text message or however you get your notifications from us. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. But again, I pray that all you guys had a very Merry Christmas. And we are going to get ready to close out this year. There's something that I want to help you guys with going into this new year. It's a thought that I think many of us subconsciously we know. It's one of those thoughts that we don't think out loud. And when I say think out loud, I mean it's one of those vague thoughts in the back of your mind. You never feature it or pull it to the front of the mind just to meditate on it. And so this morning, I want to talk about it because I think that it's going to help give guidance to those of you who are serious about experiencing a year like you have never experienced before in your entire life. Something totally different for you and something totally different from your norm. I think this is going to help you to have that experience in this upcoming year. Of course, for the last several days, many people have probably been making resolutions for the new year, doing vision boards and all these things to best prepare for the upcoming year. Unfortunately, as we all know that when that calendar flips over, we find ourselves somewhat disappointed when that calendar year flip and we have all of these plans and this expectation and we run in with excitement, and as soon as reality reveals herself to us, many times we get discouraged and be like, oh man, here we go again. And so we just kind of buckle up and ride the rest of the year out. Well, I want to help you out with that this year to the best of my ability, according to the knowledge of God that I have up to this point in life. I want to look at one passage of Scripture in Philippians chapter 2, verse number 13 only. Again, that's Philippians chapter 2, verse number 13. Those of you who are reading along with us, or if you're taking notes to go back and look at it a little bit later, that's Philippians 2:13. It simply says, "For it is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. For it is God which worketh in you both to do and to will and to do of his good pleasure." So, the reason why I wanted to read that scripture is because I know many times we have these plans and we have things that we've purposed to accomplish in frames of time that we have accented in our lives. And when we have these frames of time accented in our lives, sometimes we're unable to perform what we have purposed that time or purposed for that time. And so this passage is giving a bit of insight of how it is to fulfill that, understanding that there's a source that we have in our Father and Creator that will work in us the ability and the power to do these things or accomplish these things. But the clause at the end is that these things must be of his good pleasure, right? And so this is the question I want you to sit with this morning for the next few minutes while we're here. And this question is, Is your belief in God based upon your plans and your desires for your life or his will for your life? Is your plans, is your belief in God, is your belief in God based upon your plans and your desires for your life or his will for your life? Now, the reason why I'm asking you this question, I want you to sit with this question. I want to know, why is it that you believe God? Why do you follow God? Why do you keep his commandments? Why do you discipline yourself according to the scriptures? Is it because you want to accomplish great things in life and you know that you can't do it alone, and you know that you need the Lord to bless you and open doors for you and create opportunities for you? Or is it based upon his will for your life? Now, that question may sound simple, but whenever we sit at the table of reasoning, you have to come to terms with some of the things that we do subconsciously because we've been taught that these things that we do is going to put us in a position for God to bless us as we go after the things that we desire, right? And it may not be a conscious thought, but subconsciously, that's how we have been groomed in the church. And that is, if you want God to bless you, you got to do this or you got to do that, or you can't do this or you can't do that. And so sometimes subconsciously, we find ourselves serving God with an agenda. Like some of you guys, or all of us, should I say, all of us, there are certain things that we don't do because we need God to do something else, right? And there's nothing wrong with having a discipline and having a reverence for God like that. And we should all have it, but we have to watch those agendas. We have to watch our motives. And you also have to reckon and realize that the help of the Lord, the very present help of the Lord that is available to all of us, is available for the purpose of his will for our lives. And now, whenever you have your plans and your desires for your life, and you don't see those things manifest in the frames of time that you have assigned to them, it could not be that it was something wrong with your plan or your desire. It could be that that particular plan and or desire was not in accordance with the will of God for your life. It wasn't aligned with God's will for your life for that particular frame of time. So what we have to do is, whenever you are planning out or walking out this next year, these next 12 months, this next segment or episode of your life, make sure that you are mindful throughout the journey that you're going to live this year, walk out this year. You're going to walk it out according to the will of God, or the decisions and the plans and the moves that you make, you're going to do these things with the will of God in mind, or for the purpose of fulfilling the will of God, right? Because whenever you begin to go after goals and plans that are according to the will of God, according to the scripture that we read this morning, God will work in you the passion that you need for it, and also the power that you need to accomplish it or to fulfill it. But it's according to his good pleasure. He's going to do it because what you're doing is aligned with his will for our lives. And you're no longer praying and asking God for an opportunity or open door because of an agenda that you have, but it's because you know that this is God's will for your life at this particular time. When someone asks me the question, so how do I know the will of God for my life? That's a very broad question. And I don't know that you will ever know God's will for your entire life because I think that it will be too overwhelming. I want you to hear what I'm saying. I think that it will be too overwhelming for God to give us his complete will for our lives in an instance or at once. It will be overwhelming because you'll look at where you are at the time of receiving the will and say, there is no way that I will be able to do this. And that is because God have not worked in you some of the necessary things that you will need to fulfill this, nor has he worked out of you some of the things that will hinder you from fulfilling this. And so that's why I believe that the Lord reveal his will for our lives in chapters at a time, so to speak. I believe that there are segments or episodes when his will is made known to us and we live through that and he revealed the next part. And so what happens is whenever you don't fulfill the will of God for a particular frame of time in your life, because of grace, because of new mercies, you have an opportunity to fulfill it in another frame of time. It feels like getting stuck, but God is giving you the opportunity to fulfill his will for your life because there are some things that must happen before the next thing can occur. And so 2024, I believe that you will have the opportunity, now watch this, to fulfill some things that you should have fulfilled by now according to God's will for your life. And I also believe that there are some things that are already scheduled to manifest in your life for this upcoming year. And it's going to be up to you to make sure that you are going after these things because you know it's the will of God. I hope you're getting this. I'm gonna pursue the things in my upcoming year that I know is God's will for my life. I know that these things are God's will is God's will for my life. I know that these are. This is what God has scheduled for me. I have settled within myself, within my soul, and within my spirit. I'm resting on the fact that next year God wants me to do A, B, C, and D. And that's gonna be the feature of my journey in 2024. If not, you can create an entire schedule for your entire year that has nothing to do with what God desires for you. And what you'll find is the challenges will be great. The resistance will seem to have more power than they would have if, in fact, you were moving according to the will of God, right? And I'm not saying whenever you're moving according to the will of God that everything's going to be easy, because we all know that there are challenges that we face in life, period. No matter what, you're going to be challenged at some point or another. But what I'm saying is whenever you're after or you're moving according to the plan or the will of God for your life, God himself will work with you and work in you to will and to do whatever is set before you. Because there's nothing that God has scheduled for your life that he will not see you through if, in fact, you commit to it. You have to commit to doing it, right? Now, and here is where you really have to examine yourselves and your motives and your agenda. And that is whenever we are pursuing something that is not necessarily the will of God, and we're asking God to assist us or help us or see us through to fulfilling that particular thing. What you have to understand is if fulfilling that will take you out of alignment with the broad scope of his will for your life, I don't think that he's going to assist you in moving further out of the path that he has already ordered for your life, because he cannot contradict himself, right? God's not going to contradict himself for any of us. God's not going to change who he is and who he's always been and who he will forever be for us, or a desire or a goal that we set before us. He's going to stick to his will. That's why he's sovereign. He's consistent through and through. And so it's important for us to align our plans, with his will. And there's nothing wrong with having a conversation with God that goes like, hey, God, this is what I have planned for this year. This is what I would like to accomplish in 2024. And I need to know, are these things in line with your will for my life at this time? Because if they are aligned, then God's going to work in you what you need to be able to accomplish and fulfill it. If it's not, you could be responsible for accomplishing and achieving those things according to your own power and own might. And there are things that you can do. You can do things in your own power and your own might. You can do that. God gave us that ability. That's what some refer to as free will. So you can do that. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but what I'm saying is, if you want the Lord's help and assistance, what you have to do is make sure that what you're going after is in accordance to his will for your life. Because all of us have good ideas, and we have good ideas and we set them as goals. Now watch this. Okay, let me say it this way. If in fact I said to those of you who are connected, I tell you all to meet me because I want you guys to go on the shopping spree with me, and I want you all's opinion, and I want your assistance in helping me pick out some clothes, right? I'm buying a whole new wardrobe. I need for you guys to show up and help me to pick out clothes. I want your opinion. Tell me how they look. Help me to identify what my new style is going to be. And you all show up. We meet at a certain place at a certain time. We're shopping the stores. I complete my shopping. I bring her into it. We get up to the register, and I tell each one of you to purchase the items that you picked for me, right? I tell you to pay for it because you picked it. I want you to pay for it, right? You agreed with it. You liked it, so I want you to pay for it. You'll be like, wait a minute, what? You invited me here. I wasn't planning on taking you on no shopping spree. That was never my plan. You invited me. I just showed up to help. Well, we do the same thing with God, right? We have all of these plans, and we have all these goals that we set before us for every year. And then when we come to that time, we tell God, hey, look, you got to make this happen. And God say, wait, that was never my intentions. That's not what I planned to do today. Or that's not what I planned to do this year. So you just call me when it's time to check out and you want me to pay for it. No way. And that's what you have to be mindful of, because subconsciously and unaware, we all move like that from time to time. We'll move like that. We'll set a goal, and then we'll start blowing God's main line up, telling him what we want. And he's saying, like, I don't have nothing to do with that. I never pinned that in my will for you. And you saying, God, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. I'm standing here, and they need for me to produce this, and I have to accomplish that. And God's saying that's on you, man. That's on you, son. That's on you, daughter, because that was not my will for your life right now. I did not want this for you right now. I did not schedule this for you right now. And you become frustrated with God and in your walk with God, and ultimately in your life. And you become discouraged, and you at that time begin to shy away from setting goals for yourself. And so you end up freestyling a few years in life and realize that doesn't really get you anywhere. but you're hesitant to get back to planning and setting goals because of the last experience. Well, what I'm telling you this morning is that if in fact you're plan according to the will of God for your life. It's as simple as asking God, is this a yay or nay for me? Like whatever it is that you're planning, ask God, is this a yay or nay for me? I'm asking. This is something that I want, and I feel that this is supposed to happen in my life. Am I right about it, or am I wrong about it? And the Lord will answer you. He will answer you. And when we do this, I think you'll see that it's easier to move into or to accomplish those goals and move into the manifestation of those plans that we have made for ourselves when it's aligned with God's will. Why? Because you have the Lord working with you. You have the help of the Lord. You have a power source that you're pulling from that is beyond your own strength, right? You see, whenever everything that we include God in, and I won't, please listen at this. Everything that you include God in is not necessarily his will. And just because you include God in a thing doesn't mean that God's going to adopt it as his will. He's not going to adopt something in his will just because you decided to include him in it after you have made all of your plans for it. You know, we write down all of this stuff. We have these plans, these visions, and then after you get done doing it, you don't seek God throughout it, but after you get done with it, then you include God in it and ultimately shift the responsibility of manifesting it on God. And God was like, this is not what I signed up for, so to speak, you know? And so when you're moving forward in the next year, make sure that you are seeking the counsel of God. When I say the counsel of God, I'm talking about through your prayer life, through the comfort and the leading and instruction and guidance of the Holy Spirit. You're asking God, hey, is this okay for this next year or for this next quarter, however you do it? You ask the Lord, is this in alignment? And can I have your support here? If I go after this, will you go with me? Because if you won't go with me, I'm not going after it. And you have to be at that point in your life in order to see and experience and live a year that you've never lived before. You have to come down to the point to where you're saying, if you will go with me, then I'm going for this. But if not, I am not going. I'm not going to go for it. I don't care. I want it bad, but I do realize that I've wasted a lot of time pursuing things that I want, and I went after it without you, and I know what that feels like, and I'm over that feeling. So you got to get over going without God. You got to get over trying without God. And once you get over that and you refuse to do anything other than go with God, and until you have the discipline to refuse to go without God, you'll keep on spinning your wheels. But when you come to the point to where you're saying, God, if you don't go with me, I'm not going after this. But if you say you're going to go, I'm going to run hard. I'm going to run hard. I'm not going to back up. I'm not going to be weary in well doing, because as long as you know that, or as long as I know that you are going with me, then I'm okay with the challenges that come with it. And it's easier to face things when you know that God is with you. It's easier to endure when you know that God is with you. It's easier to persevere when you know that God is with you. The things that wear us out is the things that we do when we're not sure where God is in it. The hardest things that you've ever faced in your life were the things that you faced and you didn't know where God was. So why face anything without knowing up front. I wouldn't wait until I get in the middle of it to know whether or not God is with me. But before I enter into it, I need to know, God, are you going with me? You know, it's I've done it by myself and I've tried to do it on my own long enough. I need to know if you're going with me. And if you're going with me, then hey, let's go. I'm with it. But if you're not going with me, I'll pass. And see, that's a place that you come to whenever you stop living your life like you're playing a board game and you're waiting for your turn. That's how we live right now in this modern society. Everyone's waiting on a turn. They're waiting on their turn. They live their life like it's a board game, and they believe that their time is coming. No, your time is now while you are alive. And I need for you to get that. Your time is now. Every time in your life, every time, every tick of time that you have life in your body, it's your turn at that very moment. In the next very moment, in the next very moment, in the next very moment, it's your turn then. And so you're not waiting for anything. You're just making sure that the Lord is with you while you're going after these things. And understand that sometimes it takes time to build, and it takes time to walk into the things that you set before you. Because again, sometimes God have to work some things out of you, and he have to work some things into you. Right? And so you're not going to be weary in your well doing. You're not going to get in 2024 and say, oh my God, 2024 cutting up already. You're not going to do it. Because think about it, man. How many years have you entered into with an excitement and a passion and a flame that flickered out before the end of the first quarter? Let's not do that again. Don't set yourself up for it. Let's just do something different. Let's just plan not to do anything or commit to anything if God doesn't sign off on it. And if God is not in it, and if God is not going with us, let's just not even waste the time trying it. Let's say, God, you got to go with me. I ain't going. I'm going to stand right here and talk your head off until I figure out what it is that you want. My grandson, whenever he comes here, and he'll start asking me questions, and he gets to a point to where he knows where he has, when he's asking too many questions, because he get this smile on his face, this little smirk, and he say, Papa, why are you looking at TV? Papa, why your phone right there? Papa, why you sitting in that chair? Papa, where that blanket at? Papa, you gonna get that popcorn? Papa, and he just keeps going. And I look at him and I start laughing. And I say, what you want, man? I want you to play with me. And he will stay right there until I commit to playing with him. We have to wrestle or throw corks or whatever it is that he wants to do. He'll stand right there and he'll talk me down and say, okay, well, I'm going to talk to you on your terms until you're ready to commit to what it is, or you agree to go with me, or to agree to do with me what it is that I desire to do. I want to play the whole time I'm talking you to death. That's his disposition. I want to play, but since you don't want to play, I'm going to stand right here and I'm going to talk to you. And eventually I'll say, okay, we're going to go play. What you want to play? And there it is. He has what he wants because of his consistency, and just because he didn't know and he couldn't get me to move at first. Listen, because he couldn't get me to move at first, he never gave up and walked away and said, oh man, my papa don't want to play with me no more. I ain't got no friends. I don't know what to do. He never gave up. He'll just stay right there on my terms under the conditions that are present until the terms and the condition changes in his favor. I hope you guys get that lesson from a 3-year-old. Because whenever you don't know whether or not God is going to go, stay in his presence on his terms and his conditions until the terms and conditions changes for your favor or in your favor. Take the lesson from Hendrix. He's given us free game. And so remember this as you move forward into 2024. I promise you guys, it will be amazing whenever you know that you're going after something and the Lord is going with you. It's an amazing feeling. The confidence levels are different. And you will be more fulfilled knowing that God has been with you every step of the way. And some of you guys need to update testimonies so that you can add at the end of it, and God was with me every step of the way. When was the last time you had that type of testimony? And I'm telling you, this year, be intentional on writing that type of testimony. And the Lord was with me every step of the way. That's all I'm saying to you. Listen, I hope I've said something to encourage you this morning. And I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your afternoon. If, in fact, you are heading out this evening, tonight, I don't know if you're going to watch night service or if you're going to hang out with family and friends, please be careful, be careful, be careful. Be aware of your environment at all times and don't jeopardize the purpose of God and the plans of God for your life for something that will only be bring satisfaction just for a moment. Remember that there is so much more to your life than this single night and the eve of this new year that we're celebrating. So I want you guys to remember that. And I want to say to those of you who are here, I want you in next year, in this upcoming year, I want you guys to really pray about becoming consistent in your covenant giving. I know we don't put a lot of emphasis on it, but I will tell you guys this, that there is a blessing in your covenant giving as it relates to God. Now, there's a lot of rules and a lot of laws that come with it, but there is a blessing that come with it. And many of you know this, and many of you have seen this and once practiced it. I'm asking you in 2024, let's return back to our foundation and the things that actually worked for us. And so I want you to become more mindful and consistent in your sowing. Now, with that being said, I'm getting ready to allow you guys to go and enjoy the rest of your day, and Happy New Year. Look forward the link tomorrow. I'll be sending it out mid-morning. We'll be connecting in the portal tomorrow, and I love you all. I bid you all blessings and Godspeed. Now, don't forget to go and make your contributions. You know how to do it. If you don't, hit me up or whoever invited you. Until tomorrow, I bid you all blessings and Godspeed.
Shifting your ways, be confident within yourself. Practice and trust, visualize all your desires. Focus on the better days. Be willing to let go and receive. Just breathe. Nothing will hold you down. Just repeat after me. I am
Godspeed. See you guys.